So they've just told me I've got about 3 minutes to go until I set off on the cross country. So it's time to get on, hop on Ballincoola, and the grease is going on his legs, and I'm just really getting my thoughts together. Pedals feel the right length, everything feels good. So just walk him over towards the start, just at about the 1.5 minute marker time. Just trying to keep him calm because he's a very, very wound up horse and he can get very hot. Have Alex there at the start just to be there as security for him, really, just to have someone that he knows. Give him a little canter around and just check all the buttons are working, and he's feeling good. So his countdown comes, in the start box we go, Alex let's go, and we're off. So I'm thinking straight away, get into a good rhythm. I know the time is very tight. Very, very few horses have done the time, and some good horses have made mistakes trying too hard to do the time. So I'm very aware of all these factors as I gallop off to the first fence, thinking, get on with it, but don't go crazy. So he jumps the first fence well, and I know that what I want to do is just really get a good rhythm on him, cut my lines, get as straight a line as you can between the fences, into the main arena. And I'm thinking, right, you know, I've got to get this one right, because he can be a very spooky horse, and he does tend to look at water fountains, as I found out in Malmo earlier in the season. So I thought, right, get him back for the flower bed, jumps over the flower bed fantastically, and I think, go on, give him a bit of leg into the water fountain, and he jumps it as if it's not there. Totally surprised, so I have to sit up and get him together for the last narrow table. Set off out of the main arena, beeps are going, so I'm spot on at 2 minutes. Very, very tight turn into that horrible gate. I really just hate that gate. It's into the shade from the sun. So I spent a bit of time there, set him up. He argues a bit, but he always does. Jumps the gate very well, comes through the turn, and lines the mushroom up. He's a very genuine horse and jumps that. Again, he's spooked once or twice in the past at that kind of fence, so I was quite aware that the mushroom might spook him. Jumps the brush at the bottom after the mushroom very well in his stride, and we gallop off towards the lower trout hatchery. Just again thinking of the time, feeling the rhythm, and he's feeling fantastic. So far so good. Just set him up for the trout hatchery. Don't get him back too much, because I know that there are 3 big fences in and you don't want to lose your impulsion. And he just pings through there. That's a brilliant feeling. Up the steep bank out of the water, turning round to the next big hedge and ditch, and the beeps go off again. So there you have the 3rd minute, and I know we're spot on. Ideally, I suppose I'd like to have been up a bit then, because I know that the time later on is very hard to catch up on, but never mind. Pops over the big hedge very easily. There's a big drop there. It's not one of my favourite fences, because the bigger the horses jump it, the more they peck on landing. But anyway, he didn't peck as much as last year, and just stands up and gallops on round the corner again to another fountain. So another thing, I think, oh my God, don't spook at this. But I shave my line into that, thinking don't waste any seconds there, and he just jumps it out of his stride again. Didn't even look at the water fountain. Again, feeling really good, powers up the hill to capabilities cutting south. And this is the fence I've been worried about, so I was thinking, oh God, I've just set him back a bit here. Kim had a mistake there, and that's a fantastic horse, and I'm thinking just don't do the same. So get him back. Fights a little bit. I ignore that, I'm quite used to him doing that, but puts his head in my face a little bit, pops in very neatly, and just cruises across there on 4 strides and powers out. So all my worries were to no avail there, thank goodness. Spot on time. So far so good, 4 minutes down. Then there's a long pull-up, Winners Avenue, and this is normally coming the other way. So I was quite worried about that, because it's very sapping early on in the course. But he's feeling good, he gallops up there, and then we've got the double of the brushes, which he just jumps through like a very easy fence. And I thought, oh well, that was a let-up fence really, and I'm sure it probably wasn't meant to be, but it felt good. And the beeps go off there, 5 minutes, and we're about spot on again. So far so good. On we go up, it's a long old pull. You're thinking, God, don't push him too much, but don't waste too much time. Coming around to Centaur's Leap, great big ditch in front of that fence. You always think, don't look in it, because it's dead scary. And he just pops that, like any horse at this level should do. Jumps that very well, turn him very tight round the corner, because I'm thinking, don't waste any seconds. Knife him into the egg, and he balloons over the egg, went a bit deep to it, but he goes very, very high, doesn't even seem to notice the roof. And off we set down the hill back towards the Dairyman. This is a fence I have also been dreading, like the capabilities cutting. So we're galloping down there, he's spot on with the time again at the 6 minutes. And I just think, no, just take some time at the Dairyman, take some time, because it's a very ugly turn. You've got to bend left, bend right, bend left, upper lip, and you're jumping over a big parallel, and you've got a sharp turn around a tree, and you can't even see the little narrow thing behind the tree. Lots of things going on, and I just knew I really wanted to get my 4 strides between the parallel and that tree stump. This is where it goes slightly pear-shaped. I'm thinking steady for 4. He's definitely thinking 3. I drop my reins, so I can't do anything. And we get there with 3.5. Oh dear. Anyway, he does scrape over it a bit, leaves a bit of bark on his knees, but he's very, very genuine and gets me out of a tricky old spot, actually. He's a real trier, and I know that he wouldn't tell me if he's a bit tired if he wasn't, so we just ease him down the hill. And I'm thinking, right now we've got to do the 3 turns over those huge tables, so get him back a little bit for that. And he jumped through there brilliantly. Nice 3 strides, nice 4 strides, and we move away, and we hardly waste any time there at all. So I thought that's good, and definitely feeling like he's still jumping really well, and that's the main thing. So off we set now towards the Waterloo Mounds, which is the table and then a tight turn up to the corner. 8 minutes goes off, and that's about spot on as well. I'm thinking, well, I'm really pleased with that, because that was a bit of a tired section for him, and we still haven't come down on time, and he's really hanging in there. Pops over the first part, I give him a bit of a wider turn, get him straight for the corner, and he absolutely balloons it. He just jumps it like a stag and lands halfway down the mound the other side. So I was very happy with that. Move away, and I'm thinking, right, keep up on the time, because I know that you cannot make the time up in the last couple of minutes of this course going this way round. And I'm thinking, nice downhill stretch towards the trout hatchery, keep going. And he feels fantastic down there, he really lets himself go. The ground was quite good down there, had a good cut in it, so he felt very comfortable. Came down to the trout hatchery, and again I just said, now steady on, boy, this is where you've got to concentrate. Another little tricky fence coming out, quite a big drop in, and you just don't need to be too over brave here. And he just fights a bit again, and I think, oh, never mind. Pops in really well, just pecks a little bit on landing, I think, but not really so that I notice it much. Picks up his stride in the water and just sees the duck as if all by himself, and just pops out over that. Sets off across the top, coming to the wall fence with a big bar on the back. Again, a fence I really disliked. It looked far too big to me, but again, he jumped that out of his stride. I think he wrapped it a little bit, but hey, so what, at this stage that didn't matter at all. Jumped it in his stride, and we're galloping down the hill, and then the 10-minute button goes off, and I'm thinking that's actually pretty good. I've got 1:15 to get home from here, and I'm just thinking, phew, I can just take a breath and take some time through this next combination. Jumps the clock very carefully. I think he fights a bit there as well, but again, probably not even noticing it by this stage. Very tight turn into the ditch hedge. Get a good line him up, and he says, yep, I've jumped this before actually, and this is where we go. And he's just jumped through there on the 1 and the 3 strides really well, and then just nice back onto his line again. So he's a great horse for not wasting any time on between the jumps. He's not a galloping machine, but he's a brilliant horse on turns and things, and that's a real bonus. Gallops up to the stump with the hedge, and I'm thinking, be careful, don't go crazy, we're not home yet. And that's a fence that's ridden badly in the past, and he just popped over that well. Gallops down through the leaf pit, up that bank, which is quite a steep bank right at the end of the course. I'm thinking, oh God, that's good, the minute marker hasn't gone off yet, and I'm just galloping along towards the last, and the beeps go off just before the last fence, and I know that I've got plenty of time. Just set him back, relax the last fence, gives me a lovely jump, and canter him through the finish, and fantastic feeling. He really pulled up well and gave me one of the best rides ever.